Hey, how we doing? It is just Juicy here from Cricket Strength, bringing you another video. This time, we're going to talk about workouts and things that you can do from home. You know, a lot of people don't have access to a lot of kit, so I'm bringing you things you can do with zero kit from home and still make massive gains in your body and obviously in your game, which is what it's all about. Now, just before we dive in, can I ask a favor? If you really enjoy this video, then can you like, comment, share, and subscribe? And if you know someone else that could really do with the help, please share it to them so even more people can really help to understand how they need to work out and make just the cricket community a better place with less injuries and better performance. So let's dive in, shall we? So first up, you know, you really don't need a fancy gym. Players all the time, they put up barriers and tell themselves why they can't improve because they haven't got this, they haven't got that, you know, whatever it might be. But this just isn't the case. You know, what we really saw with COVID when everyone was at home was actually, no, we can improve. We can. I know I was working in Worcestershire at the time. Our boys came back better than ever after that little break. You know, we had like very, very few injuries going straight from COVID break into the season. And because we got things right, you know, they applied themselves and it was brilliant. Okay. You know, in reality, we don't need a hell of a lot. Okay, we don't need a lot to build massively effective workouts. Your body is its own tool, it's its own gym. You know, it really is. And all we need to do is get out of this sort of mindset that's pulling us back and think, okay, no, what can we do rather than what can't we do, which is often the way. You know, if you understand how and what you need, you're ahead of the game. Okay. Most people are waiting and complaining because they can't get to the gym and can't get on the squat rack, whatever it might be. You'll be ahead of them all the time. Okay. So exercise selection with zero kit. What do we think of here? Now all the exercise I'm going to show you literally require no kit that you have to go and buy, just things that you can find in and around your home. Okay. They really are simple stuff, but just manipulate them. Okay. And there are no excuses not to do it. There really are no excuses. Time's not an excuse. No one's working 14 hours a day, then literally falling into bed. You know, there's always a way around it. And also, you know, one of the big things is when you're away on a holiday or on a work trip or something like that, these are things that you can do in your plan and not really miss a beat. Okay, so you might have a deload week or something like that. But if you're away for 2, 3 weeks, you need to keep on top of the training. So these are all things that you can do. So let's talk about exercise manipulation. And this is where we start to get just a little bit creative. So what we've got and what we basically use, there's eccentric, ballistic, and isometric type of movements over your bog standard concentric. Okay, so eccentric basically means when we're taking longer to lower. Ballistic is more your jumps. Isometric is holding in a position. Concentric is normally the quick up, quick down sort of thing that you normally see. Okay. Now, EQIs, eccentric, quasi-isometric, are great ways to develop usable strength in the upper and lower body. So when we have got this sort of thing where someone hasn't got much access to a gym, we put in the EQIs because we find them really, really great. In press up, squat, and lunge position are all ways we can do this. And also it's great for the tendons, really good for the tendons. So let's have a little look here, shall we? We go into the next side. Now, this is an EQI press up. So what we do is initiate the press up, come down into a half press up position and hold. So you might just be a little bit too low there, but you can see the shaking. This is a tough exercise, you know, a really tough exercise. But when we understand it and really use it well, it's fantastic for the whole shoulder complex, the chest, even a bit of back in there. You've got the glutes and the core working as well. So a great all-round exercise. The squat EQI, now we're using this with a Swiss ball. So you can just do exactly the same, just either without the ball or against the wall. Okay. So this is, and we were doing a knee rehab here, the ACL reconstruction. But literally, so again, not all the way down. We're about sort of just above parallel and holding that position there. Absolutely key. Make sure we're in a good position with the ribs. Ribs aren't flaring. We're in no extension at low back. And with that, you probably sit a little bit back a bit too much with the Swiss ball. So just a normal squat position with no equipment at all. Just make sure you're in a good position. Okay, so you're not going left or right with the pelvis. Like I said, your ribs aren't flaring, with no big extension. So a wall sit is a very good start for that one. A Bulgarian, so you could do this with the foot up. You could do it on a chair at home, on your sofa, or you can do it with that back foot on the floor. So here we've got the Bulgarian version rather than lunge version, but again, go with what you want. So basically, the knee isn't forward over the knee, over the toes. It's just sort of in the middle. If we go down, again, no extension at the low back, no rib flaring, just holding that position. And again, you know, this can be a pretty brutal exercise. You know, not many people do 30 seconds of this and come out smiling. You know, it's a great one. And moving on, let's look at the core in the plank variation. So what I'll do is I'll just leave me just to talk through this one for you.
Hey, I'm doing my simple strength exercise in a week's time. Now I'm going to do variation on the plank this week. With it here. Okay, the R-basic plank, this one we've got for the deep dive chairs. And it's a little beauty. So I'm not a big fan of planks. Okay, so this one we do 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off. RKC plank. What happens? Charlie comes up into the normal plank position. What he does then, when faced with trying to drag the toes up, elbows down, put the glutes on as hard as they can, really straighten those legs, putting the belly button up towards the spine, hold that big contraction for 10 seconds, and then relax for 10, and then go again. 10 seconds, make sure nice and neutral, and a neutral, open that. 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off. It's just over 3 minutes. Give it a go. See you next time.
So, you know, that is an absolute beauty. 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So 10 seconds of maximal contraction, then relax for 10 seconds. So if you do that for a minute, relax for a minute, then go again. An absolute beauty. It's just again, a variation away from the normal plank. But like we said, we just manipulate everything. It's so simple. And then we look just at, you know, you got your ordinary side plank here. This is something we test in our one-to-one players when they first come on, just to see how long they can hold it. Just again, it's all about making sure we're in one line, we're not dipping at the hips, the elbow is under the shoulder in a good position, and we're not rolling forward or back. Okay, very, very simple side plank. Then we can just change that by putting a leg up. Okay, this is a Copenhagen plank or a adductor plank. Again, very simple. We could use a sofa or a chair, nothing too high. Make sure that we're in a good line. So when we're at the top, the shoulder, hip, knee, ankle are in one line there. And then we're just holding that again, making sure we're not rolling forward, rolling back, dipping at the hips. But, you know, there's so many things we can play with here. You know, the body is a fascinating tool. And now we've got a split leg variation of a side plank. Okay, so if someone's not quite getting it, or we just want to get into a little bit more activation in and around the obliques, you know, this is a great little one to try. You know, there's just so many variations and great things we can do with limited kit. Let's have a little look at that one again. So see, the legs are split, but the back knee is in line with the hips and the shoulders. He's probably coming a little bit too much forward with the shoulder there, but we want to keep in one line and not rotate either side. Anti-rotation, we call this, you know, which is massive because we need to get that into our system so that when we're bowling, we're not dropping off, not going left to right, not dropping into lateral flexion. Okay, so eccentric work next up. So this is where we take longer to come down. So slow on the way down. Form is absolutely crucial here. And again, it's great for transference into your bowling. And then we can superset this with ballistic work. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you, I'll talk it through again. So have a little listen to this.
Set that with your dynamic clap press up, down.
So there we go. You know, it's 6 seconds down, 1 second up. So if you do, you know, even just 4 reps of that, you'll be feeling it. And then when you superset it with the ballistic, it transfers over because the body always remembers the last thing it does. Okay, and then we can do this. We did it with press ups there. We can do this with a body weight squat. We can do it with a body weight lunge. We can do it with a body weight Bulgarian, body weight isometric. a single leg hold, whatever it might be, you know, a bridge. These are all variations that we can use with this. So then we can look at more ballistic type work. Okay, so we're getting more into the jumps. So this one is when we're training to actually learn how to accept the force. So this is called a CMJ without a jump. Okay, so just coming down. So we're in a position when we think we're going to jump, we're just coming down and up without the jump. So accepting force, bringing it back up without the actual jump. Then we take that forward into the jump. Okay, again, it's, you know, it's so simple to use. So down, up. So we can manipulate this slightly now. So we can go quicker down, quicker up, quicker down, quicker up. Or here, so we're doing a little bit more pause effect, loading the quad, then going. Loading the quad, then going. So, you know, all different things that we can do. So then we move on, and we just getting into a little CMJ. See the difference in pace there? Let me come back to that. Quick down, quick up. And that's what we want. Quick down, quick up. Then we're going into some ski jumps. So we're getting out of the sagittal, going left to right, left to right. We need to get out of just normal sagittal plane work. If we get left to right, again, the transference can be huge with this one. Absolutely huge. Fantastic. Again, so easy to do, so easy to implement. We've just got to start thinking differently. Okay. And then we can come into really ballistic works. There's pogo hops. Fantastic for boulders. Okay. Got Tongy doing them here. Bang, ball of the foot, quick ground contact time, and up. So if you haven't got a skipping rope, just do pogo hops, you know? And then again, manipulate the sometimes you're trying to get higher, sometimes you're trying to get quicker, but it's all about manipulation, understanding what you're trying to get out of each thing. And then we can make it really specific here with some back foot pulsing. Got these from Steph, you know, fantastic little drill just to really get that back foot working. Love it. Fantastic stuff. Good. Okay. And then we can come over to some more like sprint type work. Okay. So we got on the hills here. This was in Abu Dhabi back in 2013 or 14. So first up, we had the guys doing some bounds up. Now this was pretty brutal. It is a warm up, but loading the quad and driving, loading the quad, driving. So again, fantastic. So they were landing just a little bit too hard. Cess was there, especially. So we want to keep the heels off the floor. Okay, keep the heels off the floor. A bit like Leachy's doing there. Heels off the floor, load and go. Okay. So then we can get to hill sprints. Now these are fantastic. If you've got a hill near you, and you can sprint up it for 5 to 10 seconds, multiple times, brilliant. Okay. These guys were driving up. This hill was perfect. Great for acceleration mechanics, So again, all these things you've just got to, nothing we've done so far, you have to go and buy kit for. Nothing at all, but we can get great workout. So an example session, if we want to put something together, could be an EQI squat. So holding the squat there for 30 seconds, then going from there into a counter movement jump. Okay, very, very simple. Then rest 90 seconds, do it again. Then you move on to an EQI press up, hold 30 seconds, rest, clap press up for 3, rest 90 seconds, 2 minutes, do it again. Exactly the same Bulgarian hold, 30 seconds each side, rest, then straight into pogo hops for 10 seconds, rest for 2 minutes, do it again. Then we can go into an RKC plank, 1 minute on, 1 minute off for 3, finish off with a little adductor plank. Great little starter. Okay, but again, all those exercises you can manipulate, go and do a running session, sprint session, 10 lots of sprints, and then manipulate the rest period depending on what you're trying to get. If it's pure speed, go longer. If it's speed endurance, a little bit shorter. But the world is your oyster here. Okay, you got all the exercises, go for it. And if you need any help, we're always here. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this, please again like, comment, and share, and let's help lots of people really explode their game. Okay, great to see you. Speak soon.